Namaste, everyone. I welcome you with great love and great respect. I'm Swami Shivananda Giri, host of the Meditative Living Show, and I do this show in service to the Guru, His Holiness, Mahamandeleshwar, Paramahamsa, Swarupananda, Vishwaguru Maharaj. He is the one from which all the blessings flow from. He is the Guru. Today, I want to discuss Guru. What is a Guru? What is not a Guru? How does Guru work? These sorts of things. Because I've heard people talk, even in the Type 1 lounge, and saying Guru in a negative way. Unfortunately, there have been a number of gurus on the planet who were not fully developed and got in some trouble. These things happen. They were still gurus to the ones they taught. And if their understanding of the truth increased, that's a good thing. It's never a bad thing when that occurs. And whatever causes that to occur is exactly what needs to happen. First of all, the Sanskrit word guru is very, very simple to understand. All the crap is what gets laid on top of what it actually means. Gu means darkness. Ru means light. Guru is the one who holds the light that removes the darkness. Guru is the very light and knowledge of the divine, which no one knows until they have experienced it from within, directly and consciously. Everybody else is pretty much full of shit. They don't know what's going on. They only know what they've been taught, what they've heard, what they've read, and none of that is the truth. It is not experienced in that way. It cannot be understood in that way. Trying to understand the divine from within the limitations of manifestation is nothing but frustration. It only happens within an individual. That's the only way it's ever been, and that's the only way it's going to be. Now we are moving into a time where galactic weather patterns, so to speak, are greatly enhancing our abilities to comprehend the truth and cut through the crap. So this is a great thing. Guru is doing that. Guru is doing everything because Guru is the light knowledge, and action that manifests as creation. Now, of course, since we are sitting here trapped in these limited forms, someone like that has to be available to us in order for us to transcend this state we are locked in. This is why individual bodies become guru bodies. Most gurus, if you were to survey them, didn't really plan to do that. They didn't really want this function. But it's just what happens after you hit a certain point. Guru flows through you. Once all the limitations you currently identify as yourself are out of the way, those things just fall off through the practices, through the meditation, through the repetition of the mantra. And it is by that meditation and the repetition of the mantra that people become introduced to Guru from within. It's not about the guy outside of your body who holds the title Guru. He only has that because he already found out the truth. And it was his dharma, his duty, to then share this with other people. His or her. There are absolutely, there is no limitation on who or how this guru quality can manifest. Any master of any system of practice on this planet or any other, all the masters are coming upon the same thing. They're just describing it differently, and their means for getting to it vary. But the end result is the same. And that's what the mystics come to know. Now keep in mind, mystic only means direct and conscious perception, not dependent upon the senses or the individuated mind. Reset, are you there?
Yeah, I am. How are you?
Okay, good.
Good, good.
Have we got a caller on the line?
Yes, we have a few here. The first person that called in was from the 320 area code. I'm not quite sure who that is, but bring him on here.
Namaste.
Namaste, 320. Who's this?
This is Brandon.
Ah, Brandon.
Hey! What's going on?
Just sitting in the shade after some hot work, digging in the ground and whatnot.
Well, awfully nice of you to call in while I'm speaking of Guru, huh?
The timing's good.
Would you care to explain to folk why I say that?
I was talking to His Holiness recently. I happened to see that he was on Facebook, and just the fact that I was chatting, that he took the time to chat with me was kind of unusual. Mostly because I usually opt not to bother him because I know he's got a lot going on. but I felt a pull to, so I did, and I had a good discussion with him, and then shortly after that, I was informed that he wanted me to travel to Los Angeles to be available for satsang for about a week. And so the timing was really interesting because I knew that I was going to be hitting the road and going somewhere, but I didn't know where exactly. And that kind of came out of the blue, and I was and am pretty elated about it. I've
Plus, you were here since we last did a show too.
I was, yeah. I got to visit the ashram, and that was it was an experience. I don't really even know how to talk about it.
Well, I liked your description of glowing.
Oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
The next day you had mentioned to me, I'm still glowing.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing with folks some of the Kundalini experiences you've been having recently?
Well, I've always had like kind of a mostly tactile way of experiencing things, and I guess that applies to what I experience in meditation too. And so when I have Kundalini moving through my spine, I feel it more than anything, and at this point and it's usually a good feeling, not always, but I feel it at this point. I'm feeling it move all the way up to my crown, and like the very top of, it feels like it's running along the very top of my head, and then continuing forward to the Ajna chakra. And
for those who don't know what Ajna means, that's the third eye.
And
Please.
And usually when that's going on, it's not really a cause and effect thing. It doesn't seem that way anyway. It doesn't seem to be happening because of what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, but it seems like the sensations when the sensations are coming more frequently. I'm having more feelings of love and connectedness and peace, and a lot of times I'm seeing connections between myself and other people and events and patterns and things like that.
Excellent. Everything just clicking along the way it's supposed to. I'm totally elated for you, you know, to be able to go out there and hang with the guru for a week, you know. That's cool. And that's going to take you places you can't even conceive of at the moment.
Well, it sounds like an adventure. I'm excited about it. Well, my whole life has turned into some kind of, I don't know. It's becoming, it had already become surreal. It's getting like even more so. It's really neat.
Has time started to change for you yet?
I don't really keep track of it, really. Like,
Right.
I don't know. It comes and goes. Like, sometimes, like, I have no concept of it.
Right.
I'm,
Right.
I'm,
See, when you're balanced, there is none. Although you're watching things change, time isn't happening. It's just now. and that creates a lot of contentment for people.
yeah.
And contentment is a cornerstone of what it is we're doing. Because that's one of the first strong effects is contentment without any reason whatsoever. You're just content. You're okay. Things may appear problematic, but it's okay. And see,
Yeah,
Guru already knows this. And Guru watches us all run around and cry and get upset and get dejected and be in delusion and confusion. But they see the truth that's right below all that crap that's swirling around. And they know that all we got to do is get that crap to slow down, and you can start making progress. Because if your time is spent only on the world, you are in the world and of it. You can be in the world, but not of it. Once your awareness expands. And it's very simple to do. And I guarantee you, anyone drawn to what I'm talking about will be able to do this. It's not difficult. It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It's just repetition of the mantra and meditation. And if you don't do the meditation, you're not making room in the processes of the mind to recognize anything but the thought constructs that are flying through the mind all the time. You won't get beyond that crap if you do not meditate. If you do meditate, you'll be able to see beyond that. You'll be able to see the truth of what's going on, the truth of yourself. God exists within you as you. But you had to forget that, or individuation wouldn't stick. So this is what this apparent limitation is what drives us to practice. Because only through practice does suffering end. If you don't do the practice, it will just continue. And I'm not saying that what I teach is the only thing one can do to find these things out. Nope, not the case. It is the fastest that I'm aware of. And there's all kinds of other things you can go and learn and do and explore and all that stuff. But what I'm teaching is not for exploring the fifth dimension or the astral realm or any of that crap. What I'm teaching is to get you to understand the fifth dimension, the the astral realm are inside you. You are greater than all of that. You just forgot. But if I send you off on little games to play in another dimension or in another realm, that doesn't take you to the truth. That gives you another storyline to play out. More characters. That's not the objective. That's not what enlightened people do. Brandon, thank you so much for calling.
No
Bless
problem.
you so very, very much. And I would look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Yeah, always a pleasure. I can, I've got some time, so I can hang around and chat for a while.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's bring the next one in, Reset.
All right. Yeah, we got Michael Castile here.
Oh, great.
Namaste.
Namaste, Michael.
Hello, Swami.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit thready, but I can understand you. Tell everybody where you're at.
I am currently staying at the Karunabhavan Hare Krishna Ashra in the middle of Scotland.
Scotland. See, I was... I thought you were in England. Oops.
Close enough.
And how are things going?
Fairly well, actually.
Excellent. Any comment, question, complaint, or idea at the moment?
Not particular. I mean, everything's going well. Apart from the past couple of days, I've been slowly increasing the time I sit and meditate. I'm almost up to consistently doing 45 minutes a session.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, you had written to me about something about meditating with eyes open or eyes closed.
Yes, no, that was one of my questions. I wanted to know if it's actually any different if you're in a completely dark room with your eyes open versus just having your eyes closed.
Okay, here's what I'll tell you about that. Experimenting. If you're getting light effects within, and you're experimenting and watching them and stuff, it's okay to sit with your eyes open in a dark room. But if it's your meditation time, then we need to have the eyes closed.
Gotcha. Again, I was just curious. It's not that I do it.
Because remember, the objective of meditation is to withdraw the senses from their object and to bring the attention and awareness within. Okay? So if you're listening to music, if you're, eyes open, then energy is flowing out, and we don't want that at that time.
Okay.
So I've done it both ways, but I've noticed that when I have the eyes open, even in a dark room, I'm trying to process imagery rather than simply settling in.
Okay.
So when you close the eyes, this is no longer a temptation at all. Now, you will see things inside your own head, but that can't be avoided. Like I said, for me, the what's called the bindu, the point of light, I don't know. I was laying in bed and eyes are closed, and here's this pinpoint of light between my eyes, And I open my eyes, and there is no light outside to cause this. And I close them again, and yep, there it is. It's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. Okay, cool. And then it got to the point where whenever I was in a dark room, like you were talking about, with the eyes open, I would still only perceive the inner vision. And it made no difference, eyes open, eyes closed, and it makes no difference. So. Excuse me.
Thank you very much for answering that, Swami.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you very much for calling in. Who else we got? We'll just get everybody.
Well, we've got Nick on the line. I think he's just listening in at this point. He's sitting in observer mode. Well, I don't know. We still got Brian on the line. He's here.
Jim 420 mentions the blue light. Yes, you'll see different colors of light inside. And they represent where the awareness is at that moment. But it's not anything to be like really worried about. And I try not to send people down the path of reading all about the various things that can be seen, because it tends to set up unrealistic expectations, because all you have to work with is what you experience. Nothing I have seen makes any difference to what's going on inside you. And it's inside you that I want your attention. That's all the Guru wants, is for those who would do the practices to allow the limitation to fall away so that the divine can express itself fully through that body. And that's the whole object of the game. Not about powers or getting rich or leading people or any of that. It's just about waking up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So what would you tell to the people who may have been interested in yoga or enlightenment with their heart set on various visions or experiences?
That they are setting themselves up for disappointment.
I mean, what would you say, I mean, there's obviously like I can see the appeal to some of that stuff because it's appealed to me at certain points. So to those people that is appealing to at the moment, what would you say the route that you're offering has to give that is, I mean, what are the advantages? What are you going to experience?
I don't know. And I don't have to. When I need to know, I do. It's not about what they're going to experience. I could sit and tell, if I could sit and tell you every single thing that's going to happen to you when you go to see the Guru, would you really want me to ruin the movie for you?
True. I don't think I'm wording my question very well.
Yes, it's very natural to be attracted to that is outside the norm. That's totally natural, a groovy thing to do. But what I want to keep people from doing is judging themselves and their progress based on what happened to somebody else.
What I'm trying to figure out is and I feel like I already kind of have a sense for it, but it's something that did bother me for a long time. What is the appeal of what it is actually about, what you're actually going to find that makes it a better thing to strive for than the cool
oh, well, the truth, the state before all manifestation, bliss, contentment, these are the things you will gain. It's not about any of the flashy stuff, because the flashy stuff comes and goes. It plays its role and it leaves, and that's that. But people get attracted to it because they can't do it at this moment. So they think, oh, well, if I could do that, I'd be happy. No, you won't be happy. I guarantee you. Many, many yogis get what are called siddhi powers. Okay, these are natural psychic abilities that are latent within all humans. When you do the practice, the inward practice, under the guidance of a master, these things will show up. But you just allow them to show up. You don't go after them. You know, you don't chase after and desire to be able to do a certain thing, because these are all very limited things and their shelf life is not forever. That's what some of these siddhi yogis come to find out, is that after a while, once they've gotten themselves famous for being able to do something, it goes away. So now what are you? So I try to keep people from focusing on the paranormal, the psychic powers, all that stuff. All that stuff's there. And it's going to present itself to you in some form or fashion at some point. If you're going to ride this horse to the end, you're going to see some of this stuff. But it doesn't make any difference which of those things you see. All of them, just one, it doesn't matter. The point is to wake up, to reach and sit in the empty fullness, beyond even light and bliss, because light and bliss are aspects of the creation. So, you've got to go beyond even that. So we don't want to point people at a goal that ends up just being another limitation. Because with these powers, there has to be an individual to do the powers. And that's the trap, is staying in that individual consciousness. You don't want that, even in a powerful way. That's not the goal. The goal is to become infinite and eternal. And it's not something that you achieve by study. Nope. The scriptures are only gems decorating the Guru's feet. They give people an idea, regardless what religion we're discussing, whatever their scriptural texts are. No one gets to the goal with that, because it's imperfect. You have to go within, you have to sit there with that, and that becomes you. And then it's very clear. And when you see things occurring, you understand why they are occurring. when you see someone misbehaving or whatever, you can understand what it is that causes that. Because each individualized unit of consciousness that you observe has karma, dharma, and influential characteristics that they are expressing. And each individual is an aggregate of those things. It's what makes us who we are in this individuated form. Duality is not a mistake. It's part of the process. It's not to be gotten rid of. It's to be seen through. Because even once you're fully enlightened and liberated, you're going to have a body functioning in duality. You're going to take a dump every morning. You're going to have bad breath. You know, I mean, you can trip and fall and hit your head. You know, enlightenment and liberation does not remove all issues from your life. Because you got to be in the life. Did I answer the question? Kind of answered.
Oh, yeah, and then some.
Okay. Have we got anyone else who's still on hold?
No, not currently.
Okay. Reset, how's your meditation been going? I know you've been in stressful stuff and life has changed up.
Yeah, I've pretty busy lately. I don't know. I've really kind of only had time to muster that 15 minutes that you've had me doing. It honestly, at this point, it's really a tool to help me sleep. It's kind of the main thing I'm using it for. But yeah, I mean, things have been so hectic down here. I know why Carolyn comes off as a crazy person now. I mean, it's just one thing after another here. I mean, it's just insane how many things just come flying at her. I mean, there was a little mishap before the show. I mean, I'm not going to go into it now. I almost had to tell Sonic to do the sound for the show because she called me and was flipping out. I almost wanted to tell her, just chill out, maybe meditate a little. It'll all work out. But you know her, she's always going on about something.
Well, and that's just her nature today. That can change.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I think. Okay, I totally hear what you're saying about the meditation and getting away from this material world. I don't know. I guess the thought that I kind of had there is I think the point that some of us are at is like, well, okay, we see this thing being built around us. Like to set up an area where we don't have to worry about a cop stepping on our throat while we're meditating or something. So I think it's kind of this period of getting a place together where we can feel be comfortable in doing that. And I think once this area, the sanctuary that she's talking about gets together, and we actually have a good sizable land that we can be ourselves on, I guess. I think once that happens, she'll be able to mellow out. A lot of other people, I think, that get involved in the thing will be able to have that. Just unplug, mellow, meditate, and they need to do to get right with themselves and everything else.
Right. But, see, there's a distance to travel from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
And it must be traveled. That's all there is to it. So whatever it is that occurs is what occurs. You're not programming any of it. The best you can do is try to react in the most enlightened way you can, based on what your understanding is in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And as you, well, that's lovely. My Avast virus database has been updated. Okay.
Oh.
The more time we spend in meditation, the less crap the world is putting on us. And in the meditation, through the meditation, is the only path to freedom and truth. Then, when you've got that, everything else just flows. And that's when, you know, as you get closer and closer, this is when you're noticing these synchronous things. You know, like Freeman talks about the synchromysticism. I love that word. Because it is, first of all, if you were not internally aware, you would have no awareness of the synchronicity at all. Okay? So that is a reaffirmment of what's really going on. It wouldn't feel different. There would be nothing to remark about if everything we're looking at is the truth. So, we've got all this garbage going on. And yes, we must live amongst this garbage, and some of us are on a path to the expression of a better way of functioning. Really, just as humans. And it's a difficult thing. And this is why the guru is necessary. Because even though all this crap is going on, it's the guru who's going to keep pointing your nose back to the inside. Regardless what your issue is today, the guru is going to keep pointing you back to the inside, back to the truth, back to the light, the knowledge, the bliss that you are. You just forgot. And you got caught up in the show. The senses and the mind have taken control of the individuation. This is not the way it really is. The senses and the mind are your servants, but they've taken over the asylum in the absence of true understanding. Once this true understanding is experienced, and whether it's a visual experience, a tactile experience, an auditory experience, doesn't matter. It can just be intuitive. I used to tell people all the time, I get knowings. I don't know a better way to say it. I just know stuff sometimes. But that's just the intuitive function. You know? It's not about gathering up all the pieces in a great big freaking hug. No. That can't be done. Let the pieces be exactly where and as they are. You go inside. Sit inside. And all that has been concealed from you will be revealed to you from the inside. Then you'll have much better understanding of what's going on outside. All the answers to all the problems that are perceived outside of your individuated unit of consciousness will come from within. And as you're doing the meditative practices, you will notice that habit, behaviors, attitudes, thought constructs start falling away. They just go. No longer an issue. Thoughts that no longer arise. So then they can no longer affect. The mind is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It weighs, measures, identifies, and evaluates things. Okay? But it doesn't have to be running non-stop just because you're awake. But most people's minds do that. All sorts of stupid thoughts and crap from, I like eggs, to, I suck, I can't, I don't deserve this. And that's one of the biggest things that I would try to help people move through, is this concept of unworthiness. That is not true. The unworthy ones are not listening to me right now. And they won't. And that's fine. But you are. You are worthy. People feel what I'm saying. Guru provides a vibrational frequency influence that has nothing to do with time and space. One could be sitting right here in the ashram with me, or one could be in Scotland. But the effect is exactly the same. While we are interacting, it is happening. The vibrational frequency influence is occurring, and it is not dependent upon the thought processes of either of them. It just happens, all on its own. You think way too much and know far too little. Once you know a whole bunch, there's not a lot of thought necessary. People have become completely enlightened and liberated without even able to read a freaking word. They did the practice as they were guided to by an enlightened master. That's all it takes. And from the time they are initiated to the time they are liberated, there will be one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, that will arise within their mind. This is an issue, this is a problem, this is a failing, this is a whatever. And they will go to the guru. Or, like me, I am not the guru, I serve the guru, because he can't reach you. So he sent me. Now, perhaps when he passes, I will become king. Maybe. That's up to him. I don't care anything about that. Because my service to humanity will remain exactly the same. Title or no title. I'm going to help people learn how to meditate and wake up and get out of this crap and not be trapped by all these things they feel they are trapped by. The answer is not stocking up on bullets and Bibles. When you are fully enlightened and liberated, anything you require will just show up for you. It cannot be stopped. And it makes things very, very easy. But the process of getting from I am this little body in this situation, have these parents, I have this partner in my life, I have all that stuff. We don't care anything about that. I see you for what you are. God, Shiva, the absolute, Brahman, the truth, reality. That's what you are. What you've always been. You just had to forget for a while. Well, now it's time to remember. And in the process of the remembering and recognizing that which has always already been the case, process the crack. You got to drop things. You got to meditate. You got to do mantra. Reset, I would recommend you start utilizing mantra more throughout the day. Okay? If stopping down to meditate is problematic, just use it more throughout the day. Anytime thoughts are occurring to you that you would prefer not to have, battle them with mantra. Okay?
Okay. I will give that a shot. Now, okay, wait. You want me to, anytime that happens, try and go for 15 minutes? Is that...
No. Just, I don't care what you're doing. Or for how long you do it. Now, keep the seated 15-minute thing. But throughout your day, if you notice you're being aggravated by something, you're feeling pressure, whatever, start using the mantra.
Okay.
And it will produce results. This is also appropriate use for the mind. This is what, it's like that Sonic uses it a lot. Steve uses it a lot. They may not spend as much time as I would like for them to in the seated meditative part, but they're still doing it, so they're getting the effect. They are taking control of the vibrational frequency being produced from their individuation. And the more time you spend doing that, the better things get. Everyone's practice will be, different aspects, different time, that's all good, that's all fine. But reset, I would like you to, you're in a real stressful thing, so please start doing that. And then once you can verify from your own experience that, yes, it is helpful when you feel that way. You continue doing whatever the activity is, just start doing mantra in your head.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. It does. I'll do that.
Okay?
No,
because
that makes sense.
in
I will
that
do
moment,
that.
then, when you're feeling very crappy, you are then taking control and making it as best you can the way you would wish it to be. And you'll find that you'll be able to cut through things. The mantra works as both a shield and a weapon against this random, ridiculous thought that we are all going through a lot of the time. So
you told me one time that the mantra is cumulative, which changed the way that I used the mantra, or it changed my motivation to utilize it throughout the day anyway, and that started changing the stuff I was seeing happen around me. Like, not in a way that was necessarily immediately perceptible in my case, but I started to notice that for sure.
Okay.
Michael, are you still there?
Can you hear me?
Yes. I just wondered if you had a final comment, question, complaint, or idea.
Off the top of my head, no. Everything else I can just send through an email. Unless you would like to tell me more about Rudraska beads.
About what?
The Rudraska seeds. I have a necklace of them for helping to keep me awake.
Well, that's not their purpose, really. But Rudraksha is called the Tears of Shiva. And we use the Rudraksha mala to count our repetitions of mantra. Now, for those who tend to fall asleep, it is helpful to activate the body in some fashion. I mean, that is a function of it that you will be taking advantage. But there are very subtle vibrational qualities to Rudraksha, and they're very helpful to meditate. And for those of us who are Shaivites, who are speaking of Shiva, that is what we use. There you go.
Okay.
I had a question about Rudraksha also that I wasn't going to bring up.
I was just going to say real quick, we got 90 cents left.
Okay,
Oh.
mind it, you can wait.
We'll do it next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Whether you're listening live or on the archive, you are loved beyond all measure. Our Creator loves you more than an ocean of diamonds, exactly the way you are right now. Namaste. Radha